Today we will be looking at The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on Nintendo Switch. When Link's Awakening was initially teased back during a Nintendo Direct in February, I got very excited. Since then, I have been eagerly awaiting playing the remastered version of a game that I have fond memories of playing to death as a child. It isn't often that a game that was originally released on the Game Boy is given the TLC that this remaster has been given. The only one that comes to mind was a few years ago with Samus Returns released on the 3DS. At its core, Link's Awakening is a shiny coat of paint on a game that was first released over 25 years ago. The original game was handcuffed by the Game Boy only having 2 buttons, which would mean constant opening of your inventory screen to assign items to either the A or B button. Link's Awakening on Switch alleviates this headache with your sword, shield, bracelet, and Pegasus boots all being mapped to specific buttons. This saves you from constantly opening your inventory. The only other main addition to the game is the inclusion of a dungeon editor, and I was curious at how engaged I would be. Turns out, not so much. Mario Maker, this is not. You effectively Frankenstein together rooms from dungeons that you have already completed into a functional dungeon. I'm sure there's fun to be had in this mode, but realistically, I do not feel any desire to play user-created dungeons, nor the desire to make them myself. Given that utilizing the dungeon editor does nothing to the rest of the gameplay experience, Link's Awakening remains faithful to the Game Boy Classic. Immediately after starting up the game, I was brought into a world that I remember from so long ago. The familiar text of the residents in Mabe Village and random characters from other Nintendo games brought back memories of playing this game while riding the bus to and from school all those years ago. I really enjoyed my short time playing Link's Awakening. The dungeon editor, although a great idea, did not really hit the mark for me. It seemed more of a chore than a fun mode to increase replayability. If you missed out on playing the original Link's Awakening or the improved DX version that was released for the Game Boy Color, you should give Link's Awakening on Switch a chance. I took my time playing through the game, collecting heart pieces and seashells as I went, and although most of my footage is from the first 3 hours of gameplay, I couldn't put this game down, and ended up completing the game in about 12 hours, which is where my recommendation comes in. If you have $80 Canadian to spend on a Switch Zelda game to go with that new Switch Lite you just picked up, I would not go with Link's Awakening. Again, I enjoyed this game, but was also able to easily beat it within a week, and beside the fantastic other Zelda game on the console, Link's Awakening just can't compete in terms of value. This is a remaster of a Game Boy game that should have come with that portable price tag, $50 Canadian for those wondering, which is in line with past 3DS releases. Link's Awakening would have been perfect for a week-long rental. Seeing as that's unfortunately no longer a thing, rest in peace Blockbuster, I cannot recommend Link's Awakening at its current asking price. Thank you for taking the time to watch my review. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like down below, and if you'd like to be notified of new content, subscribe to Sirlink Gaming.